Drake?
Drake? Yeah,
I think we got to start off with Drake, man. So Drake recently released a project called 100 Gigs.
100 Gigs, yes.
And it also came accompanied with a lot of behind the scenes footage from him performing and him recording songs. But we want to specifically focus first on the actual 3 songs that were released.
Let's do it.
Let's focus on that. So let's start off. What song do you want to start off? Which song? Where do you want to go?
Let's
with this
do with
first?
the Thug feature track. The first track off 100 Gigs.
Okay, first track off 100 Gigs. Name of that track being, I want to make
It's
sure.
Up. It's Up with 21 Savage. So this is my view on the whole thing. We can start with the first track.
Okay, let's do it.
It's just good to hear Thug again. Like, that's how I felt with Ye and Ty Dolla $ign's album Vultures too. It just feels refreshing to hear Thug, even if it's not in the same confines, same way that we're used to hearing them.
Absolutely.
And just us knowing that, you know what I mean, his whole legal situation is still refreshing. It's always good to hear 21 and Drake on the track, bro. They just have this natural chemistry that you really can't just put into words. It's kind of just like this organic thing. But
let's go.
100 Gigs, bro. Like, it's this is post Kendrick beef, Drake.
Absolutely.
And it just seems like this 100 Gigs effort was just throwing paint on just canvas. It just, for me, I think the whole thing, I don't want to blow it up because we have a lot to talk about with this, but like, I think this song in particular is just like everything in my mind that Kendrick was saying about Drake. It just came out and manifested in this whole 100 Gigs thing.
So for this song specifically, are you talking about the tough talk, the gangster-ish nature of the song?
It's him going to Atlanta to try to seek some type of spark, especially in after the beef kind of unraveled. Like, it just doesn't hit the same, bro. Maybe I'm jaded. Maybe I'm just blinded by what I just saw. Like,
it could be.
It can be momentary bias, I think. And that's okay, too, in certain spurts. I think in this situation with Drake, I think I need to take myself out of it a little bit, like my fandom for Kendrick, and try to absorb. Like, I tried to, like, enjoy this, bro. It's just hard because I don't really rock with none of this song included, despite how much I love 21 and Thug.
Okay. All right. So my take might actually shock you. I'm going to start off with a positive thing about this song. One of my biggest critiques of Drake and why I've never considered him one of the in the GOAT conversation and never could is because Drake has been very intentional about not speaking on any social issues within his music. And to put out music that frequently but never speak on any important issues in the world at all through your music. I always say with my students, I don't even think there's been a song where Drake has even said the word racism. Like, I can't even think of a song where he's even mentioned any, and people will be like, well, he's from Canada, as if there's no racism or oppression in Canada. But he's never done it. And to me, that's always been kind of a chink in his armor as an artist. And is why you can't, and everybody doesn't have to do it, but that's why I would never compare him to a Kendrick Lamar or a Nas or Andre 3000. Any of these acts who have used their voice and their platform within their music to speak on different social issues, I've never been able to revere him in the same way. And the reason why I want to bring that up when it comes to this song specifically is what he decided to do with the very first stanza of this song, to me, was impactful. He starts off this song, I love all my friends, thinking about this life that I provide for them. This world has some real things dividing them. My right hand, he's Muslim, I'll die for him. That to me, that was very intentional. To me, that was the first time where I've heard him be very intentional about starting a song with a message. Of course, clearly with Drake being Jewish, and the situation that's going on in Gaza. To me, that line seemed very, very intentional for him to put that at the beginning of the song. Mind you, the song has absolutely nothing to do with anything I just said. It's actually about murdering and killing people and ops, whatever, when it comes to Drake. And that's the part I don't like about the song. So I had to start with love. I have to salute Drake for making an attempt to speak on a social issue as an artist, because he never does so. And it's always been something that I've created. Now, maybe Kendrick is making people have to talk about some real stuff. I think him applying pressure in the way, and everyone seeing the way that Kendrick Lamar is heralded and respected as an artist for being able to use his music to speak on all these different issues, it garners him another level of respect as an artist. And I think that maybe this is Drake's entry point into saying, hey, I can speak about some issues in the world too. Even though he only does it in a few little lines, I have to at least acknowledge the fact that he did it. So I will say that that is one portion of the song I like. Now, to get to the rest of it, it's cool. It's. I mean, I like the beat. The production's cool. It's exactly what I would expect from 21 Savage: murder, music, shoot 'em up, bang bang, homicide. I mean, that's pretty much 21 Savage. Honestly, that's what I'm getting. I like 21 Savage music in the gym. The gym is pretty much where I like homicide music. Outside of that,
kill the gym. You listen to some ops like getting scorched.
Yeah,
guess, you know what I mean?
But to me, that with Drake, and I think that's one thing that is. It's strange. Like, Drake attaching himself to songs. And that's what I've always felt about the him and 21 collabs. Even though I always think 21 sounds really good on them and they kind of work well together. It's just weird to me. It's weird for you, Drake, pop star rapper, to then bring on a rapper who's now talking about sliding on ops and killing people on the song. It's just weird.
But that's my issue with the song. Because I'm gonna keep it focused on the song. Like, that's my issue, because he does say, yo, my right man, he's, my right hand, he's Muslim, everything else. But then in the bars after that, he's talking about him rising, like Jesus essentially, but on like a drunken night that had him out at 5 a.m. So it's just like, that's the type of stuff I don't really care for. Like, especially given what we were kind of like, what was unmasked, in the heat of the battle between him and Kendrick. I just really don't take Drake serious anymore. like, that's really what
that's the bottom. Okay.
It's just hard for me to, especially when, he links with a 21. They have this chemistry, but you're right in the fact that, like, it doesn't really make any sense. Like, him even linking with Future, despite what magic came of it, you know what I mean? It doesn't really make sense.
It doesn't. Yeah. And I think, and I actually agree with Kendrick's sentiment of, I like Drake with the melodies. I don't like Drake when he act tough. I agree. Yeah. I've always said that I like Drake singing type music more than I've ever liked his rapping. Really? I've always said that. His favorite projects for me have been Take Care. I think is a great project.
Amazing project.
So Far Gone, I thought was a great entry into the rap game. I've always liked even Thank Me Now, like he's like his earlier works when he's singing and the stuff he did with The Weeknd. I think that's his pocket and his lane, and I think that the more he tries to lean into the drill rap style in Atlanta, and it just doesn't connect with me.
It doesn't work.
Sometimes, like I said, sometimes the beats are cool, but it's not. It doesn't land. And I think after this beef, it's not landing more.
Right. And I think on that note, too, like him going through, like, because the other two tracks on 100 Gigs is Blue, Green, Red, Housekeeping Knows, where he kind of, like, flirts with other genres as well.
Yeah,
like Blue, Green, Red. It's one of the things.
Let's get into it. Now that we've talked about this song, the next song, which one is the Caribbean joint?
It's Blue, Green, Red. So
let me tell you.
Yeah.
I hate it. Let's start. I hate it. There's nothing I like about it. I've never liked Caribbean Drake. It's not my bag. I don't know why he does it. I genuinely don't like rappers who do fake accents in any fashion. I just have never liked it. It's just weird. I've never liked Caribbean Drake. So, and that song isn't even like a good version of that. So, no. I didn't like it. That's a song I would never revisit again. What are your thoughts on that song?
So, I get it. Like, people always hark back to this, especially when he was doing it around Views back in 2016, where he would do the Afro-Caribbean inspired tracks. And he really kind of kickstarted, like, that trend among, like, American rappers or, Canadian rappers or artists really digging into that. Party Next Door, who's his label mate, or at least was at the time, he is Caribbean, partially Caribbean, so it makes sense for him to do it. Okay. Certain artists, they have those Caribbean roots, so it was more authentic for them to kind of maybe go down that rabbit hole, you know what I'm saying? But for Drake, from the time he did it then to now, bro, it does not sound good. Like, stop doing it.
It sounds like Drake trying to do a Caribbean accent.
It sounds like him trying to dive into this dance hall, Afro-Caribbean, like, club type. Like, it just doesn't work, bro.
Nah.
And the accent is one thing, but the fact that the music doesn't even validate that direction for me just kind of thwarts the whole thing. And it's exactly the reason why I don't like 100 Gigs, and I've kind of, my fandom has descended. Like,
oh, man.
Really since, and this isn't new. Like, I want that to be clear. Like, the whole Kendrick thing it happened, bro. Like, cool.
Yeah.
But I felt like this ever since maybe Scorpion. So, like, this isn't new. These aren't new feelings for me. This is just affirmation, honestly.
So what do you think? What do you think about the housekeeping joint with Lotto?
I think
I'm personally not mad at it, but what you think?
No.
You don't like that? Not that one either.
No.
So none of the three landed for you.
No, none of them. No, I'm shaking my head because, like, literally, it just doesn't land for me, bro. And again, like, it could be momentary bias. I want to acknowledge it. I'm human, so
absolutely,
like, we're all human, so we feel that. But I think, like, I feel even without what transpired, I feel like I would still kind of just listen to it because it's Drake, and then also peel back from it because it's Drake.
I think how the housekeeping one, I think that could do well in clubs. Like when I first heard it in the car, I was like, okay, I see what they're going with this. I thought Lotto verse was cool. I thought it was a cool little song.
Yeah,
I didn't hate it. I hated the blue, green, red one. That
yeah.
I liked nothing about that song. But for me, the housekeeping one, it wasn't bad to me. It was just like it was on par with what Drake does with the club type songs.
You know. That's what you got to expect. Like, if you're a Drake fan, I feel like this checks some boxes for you. Mm-hmm. Great. I think for me, like, it didn't, only because, again, my fandom has descended over the years, bro, for stuff like this. But I think, like, for the club's sake, it's going to have some replay value. For your car's sake, it might blow your subwoofer out, whatever. Cool. At least for a little bit. May have a tingle on the end of it, like, whatever. But, yeah, I'm cool.
Yeah.